Everyone knows Disney's Mulan from 1998. But here's the thing. Long before Disney, the story of a girl who takes her father's place in the army was already legendary in China. In fact, Chinese students literally memorized the entire ballad of Mulan in school. But most people don't know is that Mulan's story is also one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in Chinese literary and historical tradition. So today, let's talk about 2,000 years of Mulan and the puzzles she left behind. Mystery 1. What was Mulan's last name? When the ballad of Mulan first appeared, Mulan was just Mulan. No last name, and that opened the door for centuries of wild speculation. In the Southern dynasties, the scholar He Chengtian argued her family name must literally be Mu. Remember, Chinese names goes family name, given name. Schmitz John, not John Schmitz. Mulan translates to wood orchid, and that Miss Wood sounds like a pretty good name. Second, some believed Mulan was a compound surname, like Truman from True Man. In other words, her last name was Mulan and her first name is lost forever. Third, starting in the Yuan dynasty, another theory emerged that she belonged to the Wei family, and this idea stuck. In fact, the official Qing dynasty geographic encyclopedia confidently states Mulan, daughter of the Wei clan. The Hua in Hua Mulan, her most famous name, didn't show up until the Ming dynasty. The guy responsible? Xu Wei, a brilliant but eccentric Ming playwright. He wrote a popular play about Mulan and decided, with zero hesitation, her surname is Hua. And because Xu Wei was so influential, and because theater and novels were all the rage in Ming and Qing times, Hua Mulan just stuck. Like how we all say Humpty Dumpty is an egg who famously fell off a wall, or Sherlock Holmes' famous hat and pipe combo. Neither were in the original story, but now we can't imagine any different. So, case closed. Was she Miss Wood, Miss Wei, or Miss Hua? Depends on who you ask and when. But at the moment, we think of her as Hua Mulan. Well then, there's an elephant in the room. Disney's famous film with Fa Mulan. Where did Fa come from? Some people might tell you it's because a lot of the actors struggle to say Hua, and so Disney just changed it for convenience. If Xu Wei can just call her Hua because he felt like it, I guess Disney can change the name too, right? Not so fast. You see, Hua means flower in Mandarin, but in Cantonese, flower is Fa, so they were just using the same word, but in Cantonese, not Mandarin. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about how popular Hong Kong movies were in the 90s. Mystery 2. Did Mulan get married? In the earliest stories, Northern dynasties, Tang, Song, even Yuan, Mulan was single. No husband, no romance subplot. In fact, one tragic Yuan-era tale had her return from war only to be ordered to marry by a corrupt emperor. Refusing to be married, she took her own life instead, a sad but powerful ending for a hero. But once again, Xu Wei came to the rescue. In his play, Mulan marries Mr. Wang, not that random guy next door, but her original fiancé, who had been waiting for her faithfully for 10 years. And not just waiting. Oh no, Xu Wei made sure Wang leveled up. During those years, he passed the elite imperial exams, earned the title of 贤良文学, and became a respectable official. In other words, the man had brains, status, and patience. Only this kind of husband could possibly be good enough for Mulan. Mr. Wang seems a bit like a fan-fiction character, maybe a bit too good to be true. Xu Wei's happy ending reshaped the legend. From that point forward, Mulan's story split into two camps. One, the tragedy school, forced marriage, or lonely suicide. Two, the reunion school, loyal husband, happy marriage, life back to normal. Mystery 3, was Mulan even real? And now, the million-dollar question, did Mulan actually exist? This debate started as early as the Tang dynasty. And for over 1,000 years, scholars have pored over the ballad of Mulan line by line, hunting for clues. The result? Nothing but a headache and a few paper cuts. Why? Because a ballad is a folk song. Folk songs get passed down, resung, and reshaped for and by each generation or culture. So historians root out all the extreme theories. No, she wasn't from the Han Dynasty, the Three Kingdoms, or Tang Dynasty. The most widely accepted guess today? Mulan was born in the Northern Wei Dynasty, 4th to 6th century CE. But again, no hard evidence, no biography, no tomb, just a poem. Mulan's legacy. Even with all these mysteries, the Chinese people never doubted Mulan's courage. Since ancient times, it was believed that a story preserved in song must have some real historical basis. That's why Mulan has temples dedicated to her. Why Tang poet Du Mu wrote, "She rode to war as a man, but in dreams still painted her brows." Mulan remains the symbol of someone who could be both warrior and daughter, both loyal to her father and devoted to her country. And so we are left with questions. Was she Miss Hua, Fa, Wei, Wood Orchid? Was she single, married, or a tragic hero? Did she even exist? And does it really matter if she didn't? Maybe we will never know, but that's exactly what keeps the legend alive. And true or not, the legend of Mulan has inspired women and men for over 1,000 years.